Alright, it's been a long time since I have uploaded, and that's probably just my own fault because I got lazy. And the summer came around, baseball was in full swing, I wasn't really able to do as much with my time. But I am back out here in the middle of winter to bring a video that has been long awaited from me personally because I think I started plans for this in, like, I don't know, the end of summer, mid-fall, something like that, but I just have now gotten around to it because I remembered I wanted to do this. And so this video has probably been done multiple times on multiple different channels. I've seen the Baseball Bat Bros do this, but I think they did it with metal bats, and they did it with Cat 8s, I'm pretty sure. Something from Marucci. Speaking of, I just bought myself a Cat 8, so there will be some more videos coming soon this winter. But yeah, we're going to be doing a long and light or short and heavy comparison. So obviously we have different bat lengths here, different weights. These two right here in the middle, the Rawlings and the Slugger, going to be going up against each other. That's a 32-29 Rawlings, and then this is a 29-26 Louisville Slugger, but it definitely feels heavier than that. But regardless, we're going to be testing those two out first, and then we'll get into the Victus and the Easton a little bit later. Alright, we'll start with the short side of things. We have our Louisville Slugger here. I don't really know what specific type this is, but it is my brother's bat that he lets me use all the time. I think I've showed it in a video before, but anyways, this thing is all barrel and is just an absolute log. Now, it might be a little unfair to compare it to the Rawlings because the Rawlings happens to be ash. This is a maple bat, but this is definitely something a little bit on the higher scale of the wood bat range. Now, I remember kids in Little League using something like this instead of aluminum bats because AA and AAA wood bats are the next best thing. But I just got to say, you'd have to be a pretty strong Little Leaguer to get this thing around. So I'm going to take my 5 hacks as usual with each bat, and we're going to do a comparison after that. Woo. And it did just rain in Virginia again, so my deck is nice and slippery. Making sure get the extra content of me falling over in there. Alright, well, like I said, pretty heavy bat. I was able to swing it a little easier because it's shorter. I've been using drop 3 since I started travel ball, and this is meant for someone that's a lot smaller than me, but we're going to move into the Rawlings, see how the weights differ. And so, as I'm feeling this one in my hands, keep in mind this is a 3-inch difference in the two bats that I have. There is absolutely no difference in weight. This is the same thing. Now, I'll probably have to find, of course, a different way to swing this since it's longer, but there's just no weight difference, and that's just incredible to me, to have that different of a length and no weight difference. Ooh, bad swing. Ball came right back to me. Thank you, net. I'll use that one again. Alright, so, like I said, basically the same weight, still completely different lengths, but
This bat is probably much better to have if you're a contact hitter. It has nice pop off the barrel, but you can get around pretty quickly because the ash makes it a nice light little bat that you can use. So we're going to move on to two more comparable bats, since these two were ash and maple, two different woods. So now we're going to move on to two maple bats instead of one ash, one wood, or maple.
All right, we're going to move on to, like I said, two more comparable bats. These bats are both maple. One's 33, one is 32. But we have here a Victus JC24, which happens to be my favorite wood bat that I have in my inventory right now. And then this is an old Eastern Mako, which a lot of people were surprised about when I took it to my little high school training camp. But regardless, we're going to compare these two. I know this one's very heavy, and I know this one is very light to swing, despite them being the same type of wood. So we're going to see how they feel.
Alright, once again, we're going to start with the longer bat first. Or, actually, I started with the shorter bat last time. Never mind, this time we're starting with the longer bat first. This is a 3330 Victus JC24. It is one of my favorite wood bats that I've ever had, and we're going to be comparing it to my Easton. Now, one thing you know about this bat is that it's a very light bat compared to some other maples that I've had, and we'll see how it does against our Easton. That's a good sound right off the bat. Everything about this just feels great. Ooh, slid forward there. Oh. Popped it up. Alright, well, still feels the same as usual. Great pop off the barrel. Almost no feel in your hands. Feels great, but this is the type of bat that I would use in-game if I played in wood bat tournaments, and I started using 33 because of training and reaching pitches that I couldn't with a 32-inch bat for my actual baseball team. But this, I'm not even sponsored by Victus either. This is just a great bat to have. And we'll move on to my Easton here, which is also a pretty nice bat. Not as much pop as I had expected, but still works pretty well. It's got a lot of weight on it. It's about as heavy as the Victus that I was just swinging. And we're going to see if I can feel any difference between the two weights compared on their lengths. Ooh. Just picked it up on the handle and swung. This is heavier than I remembered, actually. Oh, yeah. The amount of weight on this compared to the pop it has also is a little disappointing. But it's a good bat to have if you're doing like cage hitting, tee work, outside and stuff like that. Alright, well, that kind of hurt my ankle. Thank you, deck, for being nice and wet for me. Anyways, after swinging both of those, this actually felt heavier than the Victus, and that is extremely surprising compared to how the last pair did. Just adding those extra couple of inches in a heavier bat makes it something completely different to swing, and one of the reasons that I mainly keep this as like a cage bat or something. But anyways, that'll do it for the test section of this video. I know I promised you guys that I would be swinging the DeMarini that I got soon, but that was a while ago. I think that was actually the beginning of last year, and it's 2022 now, so I actually traded that bat in for something different, which I'm gonna go get. Alright, and now for the grand reveal of why I got rid of my DeMarini The Goods one piece. I actually didn't really get rid of it. I traded it in, rather, for a 33-inch bat instead of 32, and I ended up going with this one right here, the Louisville Slugger Meta Power. Big price difference here. Weight difference also. This is much heavier, as it got a lot of end load, because it's the power version of the Meta. It's a 3330, like I said before. And this has just been a really great bat for me. Now, I started using this in my 13U season, went all the way through my 14U season, and I used this thing through almost both of them. I started using an Alpha for the end of my 14U season because it had a little bit of a lighter swing weight, but the feel on this just couldn't be compared to anything else. It was such a nice feeling to have a two-piece design here with this nice connector. It's a stiff two-piece though, which is something that I liked, because when I was using USA back in Little League, I was swinging a DeMarini, and I had actually picked the stiffest DeMarini that I could find because I wanted the connector piece, but the CF had felt like a super flexy design to me, and I didn't like that. But anyways, I have this now as my BB core that I'm using. I have other one-piece BB cores to compare to it. I have a USSSA that I'll show off in a bit to compare to this as well, and I have a USA that'll also be comparing with this. So we're going to do all three certifications combined to see how they compare in my next video. But anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.